NEC 2002 Article 230.82 addresses the requirements for disconnects and their application to various voltage systems, including 120/240 volts. This section of the code focuses on the characteristics of the disconnect switch or circuit breaker required by 230.71. According to 230.82, where the disconnect required by 230.71 is a switch or circuit breaker, it must be rated for the full load current of the circuit on which it is installed. Furthermore, the disconnect must be rated for not less than 120 amps. Let's break down this requirement. Firstly, the disconnect's amperage rating is crucial. It needs to handle the full load current of the circuit it protects. This means calculating the total current that the circuit is expected to carry under normal operating conditions. This calculation will involve considering all the loads connected to the circuit. Secondly, the code mandates a minimum amperage rating of 120 amps for the disconnect, irrespective of whether the calculated full load current is lower. This minimum requirement ensures that the disconnect has sufficient capacity and robustness. Now let's consider the voltage aspect. The code allows for the use of a disconnect rated less than 480 volts in a 120/240 volt circuit. This is permissible as long as the disconnect meets the amperage requirements previously discussed. The voltage rating of the disconnect should be equal to or greater than the voltage of the circuit it protects. In this case, a disconnect rated for 240 volts or higher is suitable for a 120/240 volt circuit. Moving on to the placement of disconnects, the code does not explicitly prohibit installing disconnects before the meter. In fact, it is a generally accepted practice. This is primarily because the disconnect is considered part of the service equipment. Service equipment encompasses all the necessary components for connecting a building or structure to the electrical supply. This equipment typically includes the service entrance conductors, the main disconnect, and the metering equipment. Because the disconnect is an integral part of the service equipment, it is often placed before the meter. This allows for the entire electrical supply to the building to be isolated from the meter and downstream circuits. There are several reasons why placing the disconnect before the meter can be advantageous. 1. It provides a convenient means of disconnecting power to the entire building for maintenance or emergencies. 2. It allows utility companies to disconnect power to a building if necessary without having to access the building's interior. 3. It helps to isolate any faults or problems on the customer's side of the meter, preventing them from affecting the utilities grid. It is essential to consult the latest edition of the NEC to ensure compliance with the most up-to-date requirements. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and changes may occur that affect the design and installation of electrical systems. The information provided here is based on the 2002 edition of the NEC, and it may not be current.